I've been wanting to give this Santa Fe Hybrid a test drive for some time. Starting price $36,150. Up to 36 MBG combined, they say. I like this copper paint job, looks pretty neat. I think I'll order one with this color. Wonder how much the paint costs though. I know they're going to jab it up our you know what. So I'll put my order in. We'll wait and see what happens. Alright, we got the window sticker. Let's take a close look. Well, that's a bit more than the $36,000 price tag they had on their website. Must have a lot of stuff on it. Not many options. $49.50 for the vehicle. Paint $1,000. Well, you knew they were going to charge extra for that. And why are we charging $210 for floor mats on a $50,000 vehicle? Come on, guys, get serious. And a vehicle this big has a tiny 1.6 liter turbo. I think that's what the T stands for. We'll find out later. With a hybrid hookup. 6-speed automatic transmission. Here's the claim fuel economy. Excellent if you can get it. We'll find out in our test drive. This is assembled in Montgomery, Alabama, USA. However, the engine and transmission came direct from Korea. 5-star safety ratings have not been done yet. I really don't care about stuff like that. And while I consider this color to be a metallic copper or metallic brown, they call this earthy brass. Alright, so be it. And here's what you're getting as standard if you want to scroll down real quick. Freeze frame anything that interests you. But wait, there's more. No spare tire? Oh, come on, guys. And the reason it costs so much, this is the limited calligraphy edition, whatever that means. I got on their website, and they didn't explain it very well there either, so I have no idea what this means. Other than the fact that it's code for it's going to cost you a lot more money, as it obviously does. Now, before we look at the vehicle, I want to look at some numbers on the gauge cluster. Just filled the tank up. It says we have a range of 501 miles. That's an awful lot. Nice if it's true. And that's starting at 4,607 miles. So it should end in 5,108. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see. So here it is in person. It's got a lot of compliments. I think it has a lot to do with this fancy paint job that we paid $1,000 for. Here's the rear view. Well, the first thing we do when we get a vehicle is check to see what brand of tires they're giving us, because a lot of manufacturers are putting cheap chuckers on to save money. These are nice Pirellis, can't complain about that. These are 20-inch wheels. Kind of big, might destroy the ride a little bit, but we'll find out soon enough. Being a hybrid, there is no spare tire, just a cheesy tire inflator kit. Get yourself a spare tire if you go out of town. Trust me, you won't regret it if you get a flat. Anytime we get a vehicle, we get headlights out in the dark and see how they perform. We did a nighttime headlight video already, posted on YouTube. We'll link for that at the end of this video, so you won't miss anything. I can't remember what this does. Good place to put your cigarette butts, I guess. I think it's for stepping up on the roof. We do get third row seating. Lots of room in the second row. With 2 bucket seats in front, 2 bucket seats here, and 2 bucket seats in the back. This is actually a 6-passenger rig. Let's talk about this paint before we continue. The non-shiny metallic type paint was started by Mercedes a few years ago. They charge customers $3,700 for the paint job, so I figured Hyundai's going to get $1,000 easy for this. Looks nice, however, be warned, you cannot buff out scratches in this. You get a scratch, you have to repaint everything, the whole section. And it's not cheap. Ask me how I know. Bottom line, I wouldn't want to damage this paint, so I don't think I would take this off-roading. But since you have no spare tire, you should be taking it off-roading anyway. Let's see what's under the hood. And on a mid-size or heavy SUV, I prefer a 6-cylinder, but we don't get that here. We get a small, tiny 1.6 liter turbo hooked up with a hybrid system. 231 horsepower, torque rating of 271 pounds-feet of torque. And we saw the fuel economy claims of 35 to 34. I guess this wouldn't be a bad setup if we can really get that fuel economy advertised. We'll find out soon enough, racking up about 300-400 miles on this rig. Unlike the fake YouTubers who just rack up maybe 20-30 miles on it when they borrow it from a car dealer and make up their own numbers. You shouldn't be watching them, you should be watching me. By the way, if you don't want the hybrid, there's a 2.5 liter turbo putting out 277 horsepower, rated 19 to 26 mpg. I already tested that model last year, and the best mileage I saw on the freeway was 22 to 23 mpg. Be interesting to see how it compares to this one. One thing I like about Hyundais and Kias and Genesis, the three Korean cars that have beautiful interiors. Same here. Very, very nice, modern, swanky, high quality. They got a very, very large info screen. Fortunately, it's very easy to use. Independent menus. Disconnecting all these stupid safety features. And I'm happy to see all of the climate controls are separate from the screen with thrill knobs and buttons. And a volume knob for the radio. Thank you very much. Camera system is very high quality. And you have the full 360-degree view. The transmission shifter is down here attached to the column. Push forward for drive, reverse, push it back, push the button on the side for park. Some people are complaining they can't see it. You don't need to see it, you just feel it. If you need to see it, you don't know how to drive. Steering wheel buttons are very easy to use. Here's the right side. And here we have all kinds of charging ports for a lot of things I don't use. And the drive mode for Eco, Sport, Snow, or My Drive. Glove box has lots of room. You get two of them. Up and down. And we have a head-up display that I'm trying to disconnect without much luck. I guess I'll have to get a pair of black socks and shove it down the hole. That's the method that usually works best. So today we put 36.6 miles, heavy city traffic. Trips running 2 to 5 miles at a time. 23.0. Not as close to the 34 we were hoping for, but, well, more to come. Don't go away. Let's take a highway trip. Do around 115, 120 miles. It's been about 110 degrees in the daytime, and hybrid vehicles do not like heat. But tonight, it's after midnight, around 84 degrees. Since it's a lot cooler, that should help the fuel economy numbers. In theory, I guess we'll find out soon enough. The suspension on this vehicle provides a very smooth ride. That's the positive side. On the negative side, these large 20-inch wheels are a bit on the noisy side, carrying an awful lot of noise coming up through the body. Just the price you pay if you want large 20, 21-inch wheels. They look good, but they don't do much for comfort. But it's nothing serious. I think I can live with it. We're coming to the end of our trip, and the temperature has dropped to 78 degrees for those interested. All right, a 112-mile highway trip, 75 miles per hour plus, 24.7 mpg. Let's take an early morning drive, get some fuel economy numbers. We're going to do some city commuting. One thing I like about this vehicle, the turn signal design, you have a camera on the outside mirror, so you don't have to look at the mirror really, you just look at the dash, because you see everything that's to your left, or vice versa, like on the right. Great idea. Only the Koreans seem to use this. We did the first half driving in the city, second half on the freeway. Around 70 miles per hour, give or take. We started at 32 mpg, but now it's 27.2 mpg, which seems to be a number I'm seeing quite often, but more to come. Let's take another trip. More highway driving. And by keeping the speed under 70 miles per hour, we bumped up to 31.2. I think that's the best we're going to see. You never know. More to come. Keep watching. With only 230-something horsepower, pulling a weight of around 4,600 pounds, acceleration of this vehicle isn't very brisk. But on the positive side, with the turbocharger and hybrid system, there's lots of bottom-end torque at low RPM. So in low-speed city traffic, there's lots of grunt to move you along. Of course, that's just with me in here. If you had a full crew of 6 passengers and luggage, maybe not so brisk. And since refueling, 220 miles, 25.1 mpg. Most driving was done in the daytime and it was over 100 degrees. Hybrids don't like heat. We're on day 4 of driving this Santa Fe hybrid, and here's what I think about it thus far. Number one, I like the styling. This is a very beautiful vehicle. Gets lots of compliments wherever I go. There's some people on the web saying, it's ugly and all this stuff. They're in the minority. This is a nice looking vehicle and the crowd agrees. So if you don't like it, you're probably not going to buy any car anyway. So your opinion doesn't count. Sorry. And even though I said this before, I'll say it again. The Koreans have excellent interiors. They copy all the good features from the Japanese, European vehicles. And this one is 99.9% near perfect. I also forgot to mention that top glove box is also some type of UV sanitizer. You put stuff in to get rid of all the germs and stuff. I didn't demonstrate it because I'm trying to keep this video short. If you want to see how it works, get on the Hyundai website. And number 3, this is a very pleasant vehicle to drive. Acceleration is more than adequate, at least if it's just me in the vehicle. Don't know about a full load. The ride's comfortable enough, great long distance tour. But the opinion is still up about the fuel economy. The 34, 35 mpg claimed. I'm not getting it, and I know too many other people have gotten that good. So next day or two, we'll have all the numbers for you. We just took our final highway test, 75 miles per hour plus, 5 o'clock in the morning, so it was nice and cool. No heat to mess up the hybrid system. 31.2 mpg. During our week of testing, we put on about 350 miles, 65 miles left in the tank, with an average of 26.8 mpg overall. That'd be around 415 miles off a tank, 17.7 gallons. For those interested. And since being in the fleet, this vehicle's racked up 2,333.6 miles, an average 27.5 mpg. We did all that driving and up all that gas, so you don't have to. So give us some Patreon money. Alright, let's talk about fuel economy. We never got the 34, 35 mpg claimed. People that actually drive these in the real world really don't either. But the mileage we did get was pretty good for city driving. Maybe not so much on highway driving. Hybrids don't like highway driving. The systems don't really activate at highway speeds. Plus, look at this front end we got. Very blockish, pushing a lot of air. But I think 27, 28 in the city is nothing to cry about. As far as those phony YouTubers telling you 34, 35, well, they're just reading off the window sticker. They don't drive these things. They take it out for an hour or two. You can tell because at the beginning of the video, they got the same clothes on. In the end of the video, they got the same clothes on. So you know they only had it for an hour or two. Fake driving, fake tests. We do real tests here. I need to watch my video instead of theirs. That being said, if you want to see our headlight test and night drive, that video is coming up right here. Just click and watch. And it turned out very, very well, by the way. I was very impressed.